I think it is now important for everyone to know what are those basic signs of somebody who is having those thoughts. So the first thing that comes to my mind as a sign is, like you said, unusual behavior, in the sense suddenly somebody not being present or not working, as per the regular thing, missing out on classes or not interested to go to work, or even doing their household chores, right? So that is one sign. I think, what could be the second one?
I think decline in health and frequent
Visits to doctor.
frequent visits to doctors is also a sign.
Correct.
We don't think of this as one of the signs, but somebody falling ill again and again, somebody having emotional breakdowns also, or outbursts. It could be that somebody has like a crying spell, or a fit of anger or rage. Sometimes we see road rage, very, very common in our cities, but you're seeing more than the situation requires in that kind of a time. That okay, fine, there was an argument, but it didn't require that much of a response. Or sure, there was something sad, but this person was way too upset, and it didn't look like it was only about this particular situation. So I think disproportionate emotional responses, as we would call it, whether it is anger, whether it is sadness, whether it is any other kind of a situation, but the response is far bigger than what it is. That is indicating some amount of stress or some amount of emotional issues which are happening in the background, which we as of right now don't know.
Right. And I think the other aspect also that we should look into is, that they are generally not interested in the regular tasks that they would do, right?
Even the regular tasks that they enjoy.
They used to enjoy, yeah, exactly. So maybe they are no more interested to watch the movies that they used to appreciate before, or they don't want to mingle with friends and
the
all.
foods which they used to enjoy are not, making them have fun or enjoy anything. That is one sign which I usually, if I see that in a student or if I see that in a client, that is something that, really sets my alarm bells ringing, and I'm like, okay, something seems to be wrong. But then that also means that, you have to notice and you have to say that earlier you used to be like this, now you used to be like that. So a complete stranger can't do that, right? It requires a parent, a teacher, a friend to do that. So you have to be close to people. I mean, there's no replacement for this kind of connection that you can have with somebody, which is a very, very important thing to have.
As a common man, I think what is important for all of us to keep in mind is to be observant about your loved ones, right? I mean, that must be the one-liner, right? Just be observant, keep looking at your loved ones. It could be your children, parents, or friend, or colleague.
And don't just keep that observation to yourself.
Exactly.
To talk about it.
Yeah.
I think one thing that I want to also ask you, because we are on a mass media platform right now, is what should mass media platforms be careful about when they are reporting? Whether it is a TV channel which is just doing general entertainment, or whether it is a news channel or a newspaper, all of them report about it. What do you think are some of the things that they should keep in mind while they are reporting or writing about suicide?
One very obvious and really needed thing is to not romanticize the entire episode, right? I have seen, all of us have seen how a particular approach that is taken by some news channels or some other media platforms, where they try to over project things, right? Especially when it is a student who used to score well but suddenly committed suicide, and they want to analyze it from all angles, want to look at how parenthood might have impacted, how education might have impacted, and so on and so on. So when we over analyze things, the danger is either you are making it disproportionately huge, or you're desensitizing it. So people would say, oh, this is something, yeah, this is something that we keep hearing every day, so I don't have to even pay attention. Or people might become extra conscious and develop huge misconceptions. So I think one thing that media in general should do is to talk about suicide like any other death. Right? If there is a road accident, or if there is any other death because of illnesses, I think we should report with the same tonality.
Same respect also.
The
you
same
would not,
respect, yeah.
You shouldn't put photos from the site. You should not put cameras and microphones in loved ones' faces and ask them to talk and give some response. And you should definitely not be like, I've seen some horrendous portrayals where there are role plays or graphics recreation of what must have happened at that time, which I think that is what gives people ideas more than anything else.
Exactly. Yeah. And like I said, that can also desensitize people.
Correct. It can make it completely trivial.
Yeah, exactly. So that is how I think media in terms of reporting happens. I would say, if we understand media at a larger sense, like movies and other platforms, I think even there the way we talk about suicide matters a lot. Right? Usually in movies, the concept of suicide is brought in to bring in emotional,
some emotional angle.
Emotional angle to the story.
Or to show that this person has been defeated, so now they have no other option.
Exactly. Yeah. So it is almost like you're normalizing the process. Correct. So I think when we are telling stories through movies or soap operas, I think what is very important is to place suicide in its right context, right? Neither making it an emotional thing, nor just as a very comedy thing where people make fun of it. So I think ultimately what matters is reporting or narrating suicide as it is, or like any other death.
Yeah, and being sensitive about the privacy of the people who are involved. I think that is extremely important. I think I'm glad that you spoke about how it can be romanticized or glorified. Like it is shown as the ultimate sacrifice for love, or when the person has lost something in business, or the villain is finally defeated. Then they have to end their life.
And people celebrate the death.
Exactly. So I think this is also part of suicide prevention, as much as talking to somebody who you notice is a big thing about it.
That's another pain point for me, because to eulogize somebody or to make it a heroic thing, suicide is always incurred. Be it to bring in some historical figure into the main picture. Suicide is always one thing, or they may not call it suicide, they would call it sacrifice, but ultimately that's what it is. So I think we need to be really careful about all of this. So I think as a general tone that as a society we all have to develop is that mindset where we are open to talk, but we talk what is needed.